Hey, welcome to my channel and to my creative life. I'm creating a 2-page layout. This layout I started at a crop and I realized I didn't have all the things, so I started and then I stopped later. So I'm using this as an inspiration, and it's a sketch from Stamping Up, and it was again at a retreat that I received this from. And if you noticed it, one side of the page was patterned paper and the other was just solid. So I picked these out from my collection, and this is just from my stash. And then I like to look at sketches or things like that, because sometimes I just don't know where to start, and just adding a little bit of paper onto a 12 by 12 cardstock or the layout base really just kind of gets your ideas flowing. So on this one, it has these 2 strips of paper kind of going across both pages. I really only do that on one side, which is the right side that I'm working on here. I can't technically give you the dimensions, but you can see that the red pattern paper is a little bit thicker, so it's probably like 2.5 inches, and it's a little bit longer than the green one, and they just stack on top of each other. And then the whites on the side are about the size of a 3x4 card. So there you go. You can adjust as necessary. Now, the thing that I like about the white cards being on both the right and the left side of the layout is it looks like it just kind of flows across both pages. And you and I both know that's not what's happening. So I went through some of the stash that I brought along with me to the retreat. And this is a completely different collection, but it's all Christmassy, and it's all red and green and white. So to me, it all worked. Now, I don't know about you, because where I live in California, we don't get snow. So sometimes it's hard to go through Christmas dyes and embellishments, because a lot of them gear around, snowmen and snow and snowflakes and, all these things. Well, like I said, I'm in California, and there are places in California where it snows, but not where I live. So I just went through and I thought, okay, what's going to work here? And so you can see I grabbed those hot cocoa things, the candy and candy canes, mistletoe, things like that. It all works out the same. I did like that little North Pole banner or sign, because I thought, you know what, we were kind of talking about Santa, this and that. So my daughter is like the world's best aunt, because she's very creative and she loves doing certain projects and things. So the girls come over, my granddaughters come over, and, they get to, create whatever it is that Auntie Carly has up for them. And for this particular night, they were making some salt dough ornaments. You can see their handprints, and then they made them into Santas. And then once they were done with that, we all kind of cozied around and just watched a Christmas movie, which is always our favorite thing to do during Christmas. So anyhow, I'm just adhering all the pieces together, and you saw me, figuring out, where am I putting this, where am I putting that? And that's kind of one of the hardest, but also the most fun about creating layouts, because you have all the things, but it's not like they tell you exactly what to do. Well, I mean, maybe they do when you get a kit like I had, but I like to do my own thing. So I just kind of group them all up on that right side, just kind of going straight up. I do some little embellishments here, like putting the white pen just around the edges. I think those things like that really make things pop up or pop out. And I wasn't really sure what I was doing up in that top, kind of the middle top, because, I just wasn't sure yet. I knew I needed to do a title, just wasn't sure what that was going to be at this point. So instead of just sitting there not doing anything, that's when I just go ahead and completely decorate the different layouts, or the different sides of the layouts. So here I decided to do 2 fishtail banners. So if you notice, I mentioned that the white kind of gives a look of, it flows across the 2 pages. And originally I thought, well, maybe I would do the same thing with those red and green pattern papers, but I changed my mind, because this pattern paper is so busy, and I thought it kind of just got lost. So what was the point? And that's why I added the banners over there on the left. It's just a simple thing, but it's so easy, and it really just made it pop, and again added more color and cohesiveness to both pages. And so once I did that, again, I kind of set it aside, because again, I was at a crop. Now I'm home, and I'm thinking, okay, I need a title. I'm going to measure the areas where I want to put something. I'm still not 100% sure because, it is the most wonderful time of the year. What am I going to put? Crafting with Carly, crafting with Auntie. And then I remembered there was a saying that I saw where it says, who needs Santa when you have a grandma, or it'll say, a whoever, right? Grandma or grandpa or whatever. Well, I kind of changed the words around. So I kept that who needs Santa, but then I said, when you have an Auntie Carly. So I thought that was so perfect for this layout because what I mentioned earlier is she's always doing crafty things with the kids, and not just Christmas time, but just throughout the year. So once I did that, I put the words and I did offsets, and I did actually cut out with my Cricut. When you have, the letters were so tiny. Like, first of all, I didn't even want to pop them out because they kind of stuck to my black paper. And this paper that I used, I think had a little too much fiber because it was kind of fuzzy on some of the edges. And that's why I decided to use this black pen and just put some lines and kind of smooth out the fuzziness of the letters, but it also gave like another little kind of fun thing. I wish I would have done it a little bit closer because you can't really see it. But take my word, it really does look really cool. And maybe you can pause it and then scan open or expand the view. But I decided to cover that North Pole and use the when you have for the sign of that pole. And I just hand wrote it. I was going to redo it with a Cricut, and I thought, I just didn't want to pull it out again. So my penmanship is pretty decent. So I just kind of did everything in all caps and just did it right there on the sign. But look at how cute that is. Who needs Santa when you have Auntie Carly? Again, I think it's so perfect for this layout. I hope you like this layout. And if you do, give me a thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I do post 2 videos a week. One is always scrapbooking. The other is whatever it is I'm creating in the Command Center. The Command Center is the name of my craft room and also my blog. I'll have a link to my blog and any information I feel you might need in the information box. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. And have a great day. Bye.